initiation, the coronation. That was pretty impressive.
Planned it all.
Cool.
Staged it.
That was, and he had to do something where he had to kneel before his wife. Back in the
And
day.
he always had to walk behind her. Always.
Yep. At the beginning, he was, at the beginning, he walked in front of her and they kept, no, sir, the crown first. They held him back. Well, then she would walk out of the plane and then he had to always be behind her. Because he was never the king. He was eventually your Royal Highness, but he was never the king.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Anyway, so Mark has to leave at 7:30 sharp, if not sooner. So.
All right.
All right. Well, let's start in Shavasana.
We got too much light, dear.
And as you make your way into Shavasana, allowing your body to settle into your mat. Allow your eyes to close. And take a deep breath in through your nose. And exhale it all out, let it all go. Take another deep inhale through your nose. Exhale it all out, let it all go. And with every inhale and exhale, allowing your body to begin to settle. Letting your mind begin to calm. And taking a few moments to check in with yourself and notice how you're feeling. Notice how your body's feeling. Taking a few moments to scan from the top of your head to the soles of your feet. And notice if there's any areas that might be a little bit tight or a little bit stiff. Anything that might be a little bit sore. And breathing into those areas. Letting your breath bring softness to anything that might be tight or stiff. Bring relief to anything that might be a little sore. Letting your body melt a little bit more into your mat. Notice if there's any areas where you might be holding a little bit of tension. And sending your breath to those areas. Letting your breath bring ease. Letting your body settle a little bit more. Taking note of any thoughts that might be rising up. Gently acknowledging them. Letting them continue to pass by. Drawing your attention back to your breath. Back to your inhales and your exhales. And take a few moments this evening to set an intention for your practice. Something you wish to receive from your class. On your next inhale, slowly begin to wiggle your fingers. Gently moving your toes. Then on your next inhale, slowly draw your knees into your chest, giving them a nice big squeeze. Gently rocking a little bit of side to side. A little bit of forward and backwards. Circling your knees in one direction. Circle your knees in the opposite direction. And then lowering your feet down onto your mats. We're going to come into reclined butterfly, not reclined butterfly, so a reclined pigeon. So pick up your right foot and cross it over your left knee. And draw your left knee into your chest. And either you clasp your hamstring or your shin. And we're going to hold here for 5 breaths. So take a deep inhale. Exhale it all out. Removing any tension from your left foot, your left ankle. Allow your shoulders to soften. Breathing into your right hip. On your next inhale, slowly draw your left knee in a little bit more. And exhale, hold here. Breathing into any new sensations that you're feeling. Letting your shoulders soften. Removing any tension from your neck. Notice if maybe your left foot has picked up any tension. Maybe you circle it in one direction. Circle your foot in the opposite direction. On your next inhale, slowly draw your left knee in just a little bit more. And hold here. Breathing into your right hip. And any other sensation that you might be feeling. And again, notice if you're holding any tension in your shoulders. Maybe in your ankles. Letting your body find rest. On your next inhale, slowly draw your left knee in just a little bit more. And on the exhale, slowly release your hands as you lower your left foot down. Shifting your hips to the right side of your mat, we're going to come into our twist. So open your arms up into a T and let your right knee drop down to your left side. Trying to keep your right shoulder blade pressed into your mat. And letting your body settle into the twist. You can always look over your right shoulder. You can draw your left hand to your right knee. You just want to apply a little bit more pressure, opening up the twist. Allow your shoulders to soften. We'll take a few more breaths here. Letting your body settle a little bit more. Take one more breath in. One more breath out. On the next inhale, Slowly begin to draw your knees back up to center. As you release your left leg and you square your hips. Then pick up your left foot and cross it over your right knee. And draw your right knee into your chest. And either clasping your hamstring or your shin. And we'll take 5 breaths here. Removing any tension from your right ankle. Allowing your shoulders to soften. Breathing into your left hip. On your next inhale, slowly draw your right knee in a little bit closer. And exhale, hold here. Breathing into any new sensations that you're feeling. Letting your breath bring ease. Notice if you're holding any tension in your shoulders. Allowing your neck to soften. On your next inhale, slowly draw your right knee in a little bit closer. Exhale, hold here. And notice maybe if you pick up any tension in your right ankle, maybe you circle it in one direction, circle it in the opposite direction. Breathing into any new sensations that you might be feeling in your left hip. On your next inhale, slowly draw your right knee in a little bit closer. And on the exhale, slowly release your hands as you lower your right foot down. Shifting your hips to the left side of your mat. Open your arms up into a T and let your left knee drop down to your right side. Keeping both shoulder blades pressed into your mat. You can always look over your left shoulder. You can always draw your right hand to your left knee. And with every exhale, just apply a little bit of pressure, opening up the twist. Take a few more breaths here. Allow your shoulders to soften. Take one more breath in. One more breath out. On your next inhale, slowly begin to draw your knees back up to center. As you release your left leg and square your hips, draw your knees into your chest, give them a nice big squeeze. Gently rock a little bit of side to side. A little bit of forward and backwards. Circling your knees in one direction. Circle your knees in the opposite direction. Opening up to happy baby. Grab the outside of your feet. Open your knees nice and wide. Gently rocking a little bit of forward and backwards. A little bit of side to side. And then on your next inhale, draw your knees into your chest and let them sway from the left to the right. Gently letting your knees fall to your left side or to your right side, coming into fetal position. We'll take a couple breaths here. Take a deep inhale. Exhale it all out. Take one more breath in. One more breath out. On the next inhale, slowly begin to press your way up, making your way to tabletop position. Stacking your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. And on your inhale, drop your belly, pull your chin forward. We'll come into a couple cat-cows. Exhale, press into the palms of your hands, round your spine, checking your chin. Inhale, drop your belly, pull your chin forward. Exhale, press into the palms of your hands, round your spine, tucking your chin. Inhale, drop your belly, pull your chin forward. And on the exhale, we'll add some movement. So begin to round your spine as you press into your hands and send your hips down to the right and circle them all the way to the left. Inhale, drop your belly, pull your chin forward. Exhale, press into the palms of your hands, round your spine, send your hips down to the left, circle them all the way to the right. 2 more times. Inhale, drop your belly, pull your chin forward. Exhale, press into the palms of your hands, round your spine, send your hips down to the right, circle them all the way to the left. Last one. Inhale, drop your belly, pull your chin forward. Exhale, press into the palms of your hands, round your spine. Send your hips down to the left, circle them all the way to the right. And coming back to neutral spine. And from here, we'll walk our hands out and we'll come into Sphinx pose. So lower all the way down onto your stomach. Drawing your elbows underneath your shoulders. Releasing any tension from your legs. Allow your eyes to close. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, breathe into any sensation that you're feeling in your spine. Letting your breath bring ease to those areas. And take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, draw your chin to your chest, stretching out the back of your neck. Take another deep breath in. Exhale, can you draw your chin a little bit closer to your chest? Take one more inhale. One more exhale. On your next inhale, slowly draw your chin back up. And on your exhale, draw your right ear to your right shoulder. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, can you draw your ear a little bit closer to your shoulder? Take one more inhale. One more exhale. On our next inhale, draw your chin back to center. And on your exhale, draw your left ear to your left shoulder. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, draw your ear a little bit closer to your shoulder. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Very nice. On the next inhale, draw your chin back to center as you lift it back up to neutral. So from here, you can stay in Sphinx pose, or maybe you move to seal by turning your hands out to the edges of your mat. Press into the palms of the hands as you straighten your elbows. Keep drawing your shoulders back and down. Breathing into your any sensations that you're feeling. Allow your shoulders to soften. We're here for a couple more breaths. So maybe you walk your hands up a little bit closer, challenging the mobility of your spine. Take a couple more breaths here. Take a deep inhale and a deep exhale. Slowly begin to lower all the way down. Very nice. As you draw your hands together and allow your forehead to rest on the top of your hands just for a couple breaths. Allow your shoulders to soften. Allow your spine to settle. We'll take one more breath in. One more breath out. On our next inhale, draw our hands underneath our shoulders. Push up to tabletop. And from here, staying in closed knees. So coming into closed knee child's pose. So release your toes as you sit back on your feet. And either you draw your elbows to your knees, or you take your hands to your feet, tucking in your chin and rolling your spine. And if your forehead doesn't rest on the mat, you can always slide a block or a cushion or a blanket just to try to remove tension from your neck. Maybe it'll help soften your shoulders. We'll take a few more breaths here. Maybe you tuck your chin in a little bit deeper. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. On the next inhale, slowly begin to make your way back to tabletop position. So we can set up for downward facing dog to set up for pigeon pose. So curling your toes, we'll send our knees up and our hips back. And take a few moments here to pedal out your feet. So bend one knee, straighten the other. Repeating that on the other side, and just hold it just a little bit longer. Maybe one more time on the other side. One more time on the opposite side. Drawing both heels to the mat. Inhale, float your right leg high to the sky. And on your exhale, coming into pigeon pose. So draw your right knee to your right wrist, your right ankle to your left. Release your left toes. Inhale, walk your hands up to set the hips. And on your exhale, begin to walk your hands out. So allow your right hip to settle. And maybe you start on your forearms, or maybe you let your body fully rest. Again, you can slide a block underneath your elbows. You can put a block underneath your forehead. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, can you walk your fingertips out a little bit further, challenging your edge. Allowing your right hip to settle a little bit more. Notice if you're holding any tension in your left leg. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, can you walk your fingertips out maybe just a little bit further, letting your body rest a little bit deeper. We have a few more breaths here. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. On the next inhale, slowly begin to walk your hands up. As you plant your hands and curl your left toes, send your right leg back to your three-legged dog. Give it a little bit of a gentle shake. Release your right toes down onto your mat. Inhale, float your left leg high to the sky. And on the exhale, come into pigeon pose on the other side. So draw your left knee to your left wrist, left ankle to your right. Release your right toes. Inhale, walk your hands up to set the hips. And on your exhale, begin to walk your hands out. Allow your left hip to settle. Take a few moments to notice how this side feels. Breathing into any sensations. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, can you walk your fingertips out a little bit further? Letting your left hip settle a little bit more. Removing any tension from your right leg. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, can you walk your fingertips out a little bit further? Challenging your edge just a little bit more. Take one more breath in. One more breath out. Slowly begin to walk your hands up. As you plant your hands and curl your toes, send your left leg back to your three-legged dog, giving it a little bit of a gentle shake. Releasing your left toes down on your mats. And then from here, coming into wide knee child's pose. So open your knees as wide as your mats. Draw your big toes together and send your hips back. Allow your shoulders to soften. Your hips to settle. And if your forehead doesn't rest on your mat, slide a block or a cushion. Breathing into your hips. Take a few more breaths here. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Very nice. Slowly begin to walk your hands up. As you draw your knees together. And then turning sideways on your mat, we're going to come into frog pose. So turning your mats up, giving it a little bit more cushion. So open up your knees. Trying to keep your heels and your knees in alignment with each other. They might be a little bit in or they might be a little bit out. That's okay. And then from here, take a deep inhale. And then exhale, slowly coming down onto your forearms. And then take a deep breath in. And then exhale, maybe you gently send your hips back. Breathing into your hips. Maybe notice if you're favoring one hip over the other. Trying to breathe into that hip. Trying to soften your shoulders. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, can you allow your hips to settle a little bit more? Notice if you're gripping your toes, can you soften your feet, your toes? Allow your shoulders to soften. And on your next inhale, slowly coming back onto the palms of your hands, we'll just release a little bit out of the pose. So just walk your hands and allow the hips to move forward. Take a breath in and a breath out. Then take a deep inhale. And then exhale, gently begin to send your hips back. And maybe you come back down onto your forearms. And maybe your hips have settled a little bit more. Maybe they're at the same place, and that's okay. Breathing into any sensation that you might be feeling. Notice if you're holding any tension in your feet, in your shoulders, maybe in your neck. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, can you allow your hips to settle a little bit more? Got a couple more breaths here. Take one more breath in. One more breath out. And then slowly begin to come on back onto the palms of your hands. And gently as you move your hips forward. And then from here, slowly begin to walk your knees in, taking your time. Releasing your mats. And then from here, we'll come back into Shavasana. So kicking your feet to one side or another, coming into a seated position, and then lowering all the way down onto your back. Allow your palms to face up. Allow your hips to settle. Breathing into any sensations that you're feeling. Letting your hips begin to release. Your shoulders to soften. And notice any thoughts that might be coming up. Gently acknowledging them. Letting them continue to pass by. Drawing your attention back to your breath. Allowing your hips to settle a little bit more. We'll take a few more breaths here. Take one more breath in. One more breath out. On the next inhale, slowly begin to draw your feet onto your mat. As we move into supported bridge, so grab your block. Draw your feet as close to your glutes as possible. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. On your next inhale, send your hips up as you slide your block underneath your tailbone. Gently moving it up or lower down your spine to wherever feels comfortable. And maybe you have to adjust your feet a little bit as well. Maybe you open them a little bit wider this time. Allow your palms to face up. Letting your hips settle. Notice if you're holding any tension in your glutes. Allowing them to soften. Removing any tension from your neck. Take a few more breaths here. Take one more breath in. One more breath out. On your next inhale, slowly shift your hips up as you slide the block out from underneath, slowly letting your hips lower down to your mats. Draw your knees into your chest, give them a nice big squeeze. Gently rocking a little bit of side to side. A little bit of forward and backwards. Circling your knees in one direction. Circle your knees in the opposite direction. And then lowering your feet down onto your mat. We're going to come into waterfall. So draw your knees back into your chest as you shift your hips up and slide the block underneath your tailbone. Straightening your legs up to your ceiling. Allow your palms to face up. Allow your shoulders to soften. So we'll be in waterfall for another minute. So if you want to open your cactus, your arms, feel free to bend your elbows. Allow your shoulders to soften. Keeping your breath nice and deep. Take a few more breaths here. Allow your shoulders to soften a little bit more. Take one more breath in. One more breath out. On the next inhale, release your arms to cat from cactus. Draw your knees into your chest as you shift your hips up, sliding the block out from underneath, giving your knees a nice big squeeze. Gently rocking a little bit of side to side, a little bit of forward and backwards. Circling your knees in one direction, circle your knees in the opposite direction. Opening up to happy baby, grab the outside of your feet, open your knees nice and wide. Gently rocking a little bit of forward and backwards. A little bit of side to side. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, open up to Shavasana, legs as wide as your mats. Palms to face up. Letting your body melt into your mats. Taking this opportunity to let go. Letting your body find rest. Letting your mind find peace. Taking a few moments to scan over your body. Notice if there's any areas where you might be holding a little bit of tension. Letting your breath bring softness to those areas. Letting your body melt a little bit more into your mats. Breathing into your hips. Letting any tension dissolve. Letting your hips settle a little bit more. Breathing into your spine. All the way up to your shoulders. Letting any sensations soften with your breath. Letting them melt a little bit more. Taking note of any thoughts that may be rising up. Gently acknowledging them. Letting them continue to flow by. Drawing your attention back to your breath. Letting your body find a little bit more rest. Your mind to find a little bit more peace. On your next inhale, slowly begin to wiggle your fingers. Gently moving your toes. Slowly waking up your body. Drawing your attention back to the room. Then on your next inhale, slowly reach your arms up and overhead. And as you grab one wrist, gently pull it to one side of the room, feeling the stretch in your side body. As you release that wrist, grab your other wrist and gently pull it to the opposite side. Releasing that wrist, reach your hands to the very back of the room and your feet to the very front. On your next inhale, take a full body stretch. Breathe in. Exhale, let it all go. Slowly draw your knees into your chest, giving them a nice big squeeze. Gently rocking a little bit of side to side. A little bit of forward and backwards. Circling your knees in one direction. Circle your knees in the opposite direction. Then letting your knees sway from the right to the left. Gently letting your knees fall to your right side or to your left side, coming into fetal position. Allowing your head to cradle into your arm. Offering breaths of gratitude. Grateful for your practice this evening. Taking time to slow down and letting your body settle. Take a few moments to reflect on the intention you set at the beginning of practice. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Let it all go. On your next inhale, slowly begin to press your way up to a seated position. Keeping your eyes closed and drawing your hands to heart center. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Let it all go. On the next inhale, draw a gentle smile to your face. Exhale it all out. Take a few moments to thank your body for all the hard work you did this evening. I thank you and I'm very humbled and blessed by your practice. Namaste. Wonderful work, guys.
Pillows.
Yeah, I feel
Yes,
back.
we saw George pull out those pillows and they're like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. He's getting the hang of it.
He was refusing at first, and I just kind of got out of position and said, no, you need to try this because you'll relax in the position.
Exactly.
It was better, Mark, yes.
Absolutely. Like I use these, like it seems silly. Like if I'm sitting here talking, sometimes I'll just put this here on my chin.
Yeah.
No, it was great. That was a great lesson, and I'm getting to appreciate frog more.
Yeah,
I love frog.
It was 4 minutes today.
Okay, guys.
All right, I gotta go.
Okay.
Okay,
Thanks,
see you.
Mark.
Thanks a lot,
See
Mark.
you.
Thanks,
Guys,
Josh. See
bye.
you. Have a good week. Have a good week, everybody.
Yeah,
You
have a
too,
good one.
bye-bye.
See you guys next week.
Bye.
That's really good.